Tears, tension, truths that were never meant to surface. Just when fans thought they'd seen it all. Chrissy Lampkin. Yes. The Chrissy has shattered the silence in a tell-all confession that no one saw coming. And trust us, it's not the sweet love story everyone hoped for. After years of standing by Jim Jones' side through chaos, commitment issues, and countless reality TV showdowns, Chrissy is finally speaking her truth. But what she revealed left fans stunned. From heart-wrenching betrayals to silent suffering behind designer shades, Chrissy's emotional bombshell has set the internet on fire and the Jones family on edge. In this exclusive expose, Chrissy opens up like never before. And it's not just about love lost. It's about loyalty tested, secrets exposed, and a future hanging in the balance. What really happened during those months off camera? Who walked away first? And why is Chrissy ready to move on after giving more than a decade to a man who, according to her, never really chose her back? This isn't just gossip. This is a turning point in one of hip-hop's most iconic love sagas. Grab your popcorn because what you're about to hear will change everything you thought you knew about Chrissy and Jim. When Chrissy Lampkin sat down for what was supposed to be a quiet, off-camera interview with a close friend, no one expected the emotional storm that would follow. Her voice, usually strong and unwavering, trembled with every word. "I loved him more than I loved myself," she said, eyes glazed with tears. And just like that, years of loyalty, sacrifice, and silent heartbreak began to unravel in one of the most shocking revelations reality TV fans had ever heard. It all started months ago. When Chrissy disappeared from the spotlight, rumors swirled, of course. Was it a breakup? Was she hiding a pregnancy? Was there another woman? Fans speculated endlessly. Jim Jones, ever the cool and composed rapper, gave cryptic social media posts. Nothing more. But Chrissy's silence. It was loud. To loud. Behind closed doors, things were falling apart. Chrissy had reached her breaking point. It wasn't just about not getting a ring. It wasn't just about waiting 13 years for a man to figure it out. It was about feeling invisible, forgotten. She told her inner circle, "I begged him to fight for us." But how long can you beg before you lose yourself? Friends tried to intervene. Emma Jones, never one to stay quiet, allegedly warned Chrissy months earlier. "He's my son. He loves you, but you've got to stop trying to mother him. He's a man, let him lead." Those words stung, especially coming from a woman Chrissy had battled on screen and off. But deep down, Chrissy knew the truth. Jim wasn't leading, and she was tired of dragging the relationship behind her like a heavy suitcase. Then came the whispers. Whispers that Jim had been seen with someone else. Not just anyone, but someone familiar. A woman from their past. A woman Chrissy had once called a friend. The betrayal hit like a punch to the chest. When confronted, Jim allegedly laughed it off. "You always think someone's trying to take me away. Maybe it's you pushing me." That fight, according to sources close to the couple, was the beginning of the end. Voices were raised. Things were said that couldn't be unsaid. Chrissy walked out, slamming the door behind her. Jim didn't follow. And that silence between them stretched for days. Then weeks. Chrissy spent nights crying in the guest room of a friend's condo in Miami, replaying every moment of their relationship in her mind. The trips, the promises, the public proposal. "He didn't even try," she whispered to herself one night. "He just let me go." It was that realization that broke her. Not the fights, not the other woman, just the apathy. And while Chrissy was falling apart in private, the world was watching Jim party with industry friends, popping bottles and posting inspirational quotes like "real men move in silence." The contrast was brutal. Fans were divided, blamed Chrissy, calling her too controlling, while others demanded Jim grow up and commit already. But what no one knew at the time was that Chrissy wasn't just mourning the end of a relationship, she was grieving the years she'd lost to it. In one emotional moment during the interview, she admitted, "I passed on motherhood because I thought building a life with Jim was enough. I thought love would be enough. I was wrong." The raw honesty in her voice was enough to break anyone watching. Fans flooded social media with messages of support. "Chrissy, you deserve better." One user wrote, "He didn't value a real one." "Your glow is going to be legendary," posted another. But behind the screen, Chrissy wasn't thinking about revenge or comebacks. She was just trying to breathe. Friends said she stopped eating, lost weight, barely slept. She was a ghost of herself, one source revealed. "We were scared. This wasn't just a breakup. It was like she lost a piece of her soul." Even those who had doubted her in the past, people who called her too dramatic or too emotional, were now seeing a woman who had given everything and gotten almost nothing in return. But the story wasn't over. Because while Chrissy tried to heal in private, Jim was being pulled into another kind of spotlight. Paparazzi caught him outside a popular New York lounge, laughing with a mystery woman. When asked if he and Chrissy were over, he simply smirked and said, "Ask her." The internet exploded. Chrissy stayed silent until now. In the second part of her tell-all, Chrissy addresses the woman in question, the real reason she walked away, and the shocking text message that changed everything. Chrissy took a deep breath, her fingers nervously twisting the edge of her silk blouse as the cameras resumed rolling. "It wasn't just about the other woman," she began, her voice quieter now, but heavier. "It was the lie behind it, the pretending. He made me feel crazy for asking questions that deserved answers. The woman Jim had been seen with. Not just any woman from their past, but Tasha, a mutual acquaintance from their early years in Harlem. Chrissy had invited her into their circle once. She'd even helped Tasha when she was struggling and gave her a shoulder to cry on." Chrissy recalled, "I gave her my couch when she had nowhere else to go. And now she's laughing in my man's ear like I never existed." When those photos surfaced online, fans were ruthless. Timelines blew up with side-by-side comparisons of Chrissy and Tasha, sparking debates and insults. Some called it karma. Others called it cold. Chrissy saw it as confirmation. "That was the moment I knew," she said, her eyes burning. "He didn't protect me. Not as a partner. Not even as a friend." What hurt the most wasn't the betrayal, it was the silence. Jim didn't reach out, didn't deny, didn't even defend her. Instead, he posted a cryptic Instagram story, a black screen with white letters that read, "Loyalty ain't loud." Chrissy nearly threw her phone across the room. "Loyalty," she repeated, laughing bitterly. "You wouldn't know loyalty if it slept beside him every night for 13 years. Oh, wait, it did." But things escalated further just days later, when Chrissy received a text message that sent her spiraling. It was from Tasha. Not Jim, Tasha, and it wasn't an apology, it was a warning. "You should have seen this coming. He's been done with you. You were just too proud to notice." Chrissy stared at the screen in disbelief. It wasn't just betrayal now, it was humiliation. "I sat with that message for hours," she said. "I didn't respond because I knew if I said what I was feeling, it would burn the whole bridge down. And I'm not here to ruin him. I just want to be free." But freedom came with a cost. Her phone didn't stop ringing. Producers from old reality shows wanted her side. Of the story, bloggers offered thousands for exclusives. Friends turned into informants, leaking details for clicks. And amid all that noise, Mama Jones reemerged with fire in her voice in an Instagram live that caught thousands of viewers in just minutes. Jim's mother vented, "I always said Chrissy was too much, too controlling. Jim don't need no woman trying to be his boss. Let that man live." Fans were divided yet again. Some applauded Mama Jones for keeping it real, while others called her toxic and accused her of never wanting her son to be happy. Chrissy didn't clap back. She didn't go live. She didn't post a single cryptic quote. Instead, she started therapy. Behind the scenes, she began rebuilding, starting with her mind. I had to unlearn the version of love I was raised on, she said. That read or die mindset, it nearly killed me. Still, the hurt lingered, especially when mutual friends picked sides. People I fed, housed, supported, they started distancing themselves. Like heartbreak is contagious, she said with a sad smile. Okay, God shows you who's real when your world falls apart. And then, just when it seemed the dust was settling, a new twist emerged. An alleged voice note leaked, someone claiming to be Jim admitting he wasn't ready for what Chrissy needed. The voice was grainy, the source unclear, but fans were convinced it was him. In the note, the voice said, I love her, always did. But loving her, right? That's a different level. I ain't built for that. Internet erupted. Was this finally the confession Chrissy had waited for? Was it an apology? A closure? Or just another excuse wrapped in emotional confusion? Chrissy heard the audio. She didn't flinch. Maybe it's him. Maybe it's not. Doesn't matter. Anymore, love without action is just noise. And I've had enough noise to last me a lifetime. But things weren't over yet, not even close. Just a week later, Chrissy received an unexpected visitor at her Miami condo. It was Jim. No cameras. No crew, just him, standing in the doorway with tired eyes and a bouquet of wilting roses. She almost didn't open the door. But curiosity won. He stood there, quiet, almost unsure. The Jim Jones that Chrissy had known, the bold, arrogant, smooth-talking Harlem King, was gone. In his place stood a man who looked ... tired, broken. For a second, Chrissy just stared at him. Part of her wanted to slam the door shut. The other part wanted answers. And maybe, just maybe, she wanted to hear him say the one thing he'd never said before. I'm sorry you're gone, let me in, or what? He finally said, voice low, almost embarrassed. Chrissy stepped aside without a word. He walked in, slowly, like he was stepping into a memory. The silence between them was louder than any of their past arguments. Chrissy watched as he set the bouquet on the table. They're dead, she said flatly, nodding at the flowers. Kind of like us. Jim let out a soft chuckle, but there was no humor in it. I deserved that, he admitted. They sat down across from each other, the weight of years pressing down on them. For a long time, neither spoke. Then Chrissy broke the silence. Why now? Jim looked down at his hands. 'Cause I messed up, he said. I let you go. I didn't fight. Hey, and when you walked away, I thought you'd come back like you always did, but you didn't. Chrissy's eyes didn't soften. You never gave me a reason to come back. He nodded. I know. And seeing you out here, doing you, glowing, healing, it hit me. I lost a real one. She sighed. So what, you think flowers and sad eyes are gonna fix everything? Nah, he said. I don't expect you to forgive me. I just needed to say it. I was scared of growing up, scared of being the man you deserved. I sabotaged it because, deep down, I didn't think I was worthy of you. The words hung in the air, thick with decades of unresolved emotion. Chrissy felt her chest tighten. Not because the apology wasn't needed, but because it had come too late. Much too late. You should have told me that 10 years ago, she said, her voice cracking. I was right there, Jim, every damn day, waiting, hoping, defending you. To everyone, even myself. He looked at her, his eyes shining. I know, and I'll hate myself for that for the rest of my life. Outside, the sky turned orange as the sun began to set. The room, once filled with silence, now pulsed with the echoes of everything they'd been too proud to say. Jim stood up slowly. I won't stay long. Just wanted to tell you that. And I'm sorry for Tasha. It should have never happened. Chrissy laughed bitterly. You think that's what hurt the most, Tasha? No, it was you. You hurt me, not her, not your mama, not the fans, just you. He nodded, accepting it. I'm done chasing love, she added. If it wants me, it'll. have to find me, and it better come correct next time." He looked at her for a long moment, then whispered, "You always deserved better than me." And with that, he left. The door clicked shut behind him, and Chrissy stood there, trembling. Not because she was sad, but because she finally felt free. Like a weight she didn't even realize she was carrying had finally fallen off her shoulders. Days passed, and then something unexpected happened. A viral clip surfaced Jim performing at a small event in Atlanta. Halfway through the show, he paused the music. Fans quieted as he spoke into the mic. "I lost the love of my life," he said, "and it's my fault. I never said it right. But Chrissy, if you ever hear this, thank you for loving me when I didn't know how to love myself." The crowd erupted in cheers, but the internet had mixed feelings. Some fans were touched. Others were skeptical. "He's only doing this now that she's out of reach." One commenter wrote, "Too little, too late." Meanwhile, Chrissy stayed quiet. No interviews, no responses. Instead, she began focusing on herself, relaunching her design line, posting photos from yoga retreats, and smiling in a way fans hadn't seen in years. But not everyone was rooting for her. A new wave of drama hit when a blog claimed that Chrissy had already started seeing someone new, a successful entrepreneur from Los Angeles, known for his low-key lifestyle and quiet fortune. Photos of them at a private dinner leaked, sending fans into a frenzy. Jim about to lose his mind when he sees this. One user tweeted, and sure enough, Jim posted another cryptic message, "Don't play with real love. It don't come twice." The tension was back. Fans were watching both Chrissy and Jim like it was a reality show unfolding in real time. Some begged for reconciliation. Others hoped Chrissy would never look back. But in her next sit-down interview, Chrissy finally cleared the air. "I'm not in a new relationship," she said calmly. "I'm in a relationship with myself. And that's the first one I've prioritized in years." She paused, then added, "I don't hate Jim. I don't regret the years. I just, regret waiting for him to be someone he wasn't ready to be." And just like that, she reminded everyone what true strength looked like. But the story wasn't finished. Not yet. Because just when everyone thought the final chapter had been written, Chrissy received a phone call that would reignite the fire, test everything she had worked to heal. The call came late at night. Chrissy was in bed, scrolling through old photos, ones she hadn't had the courage to delete yet. Moments frozen in time. Her and Jim on the beach in Tulum, laughing over champagne. In Paris, dancing in the living room of their Harlem apartment. And then her phone lit up. Unknown number. She hesitated for a moment, then answered, "Chrissy." The voice was familiar, almost too familiar. "Yes, who is this?" "It's Mama Jones." Chrissy sat up in bed, completely stunned. The last time they'd spoken was over a year ago, and it had ended in a screaming match that left both of them in tears. "What do you want?" Chrissy asked, her tone guarded. "To talk, woman to woman. Please, just listen." Chrissy didn't know what shocked her more, the fact that Mama Jones was calling, or that she was being civil. "Jim's not okay," she said after a pause. "He ain't been right since you left. Acting tough, but I know my son is hurting." Chrissy sighed, pressing her fingers to her temple. "Why are you telling me this now?" "Because maybe I was wrong," Mama Jones said, her voice cracking ever so slightly. "I gave you hell. I know that. I was trying to protect my boy, but I think I pushed him away from the one person who really loved him." Silence. "He don't tell nobody how he feels," Mama Jones continued. "But I see it. He not eating, he not sleeping, he ain't talking to nobody. He think he ruined everything." Chrissy's voice was barely above a whisper. "He did. Maybe. But if there's any part of you that still loves him, even just a little, talk to him. If not for him, for you. Get your closure." Chrissy didn't respond. She just hung up. Not out of anger, but out of confusion. Why now? Why her? Why her? Why this sudden need for peace? The next day, she walked along the edge of the water in Miami, the waves crashing softly at her feet. Part of her wanted to call him. Part of her wanted to throw her phone into the ocean and let the seas swallow the past. Then came the second call. This time, it was from Jim. She let it ring 4 times before answering. "I didn't think you'd pick up," he said. "I almost didn't," she replied. "I saw my mom called you." "She did." He paused. "I didn't ask her to. I figured." Then came the words she wasn't ready for. "Can we talk face to face one last time?" Chrissy hesitated. Everything in her told her to say no. But something, maybe curiosity, maybe compassion, made her say, "Fine." They met at a quiet rooftop bar overlooking the city skyline. No cameras, no entourages. Just 2 people standing on the ruins of what once was love. Jim looked older, more tired. His eyes, once filled with mischief and pride, now looked ... empty. "You look good," he said. "I feel better," Chrissy replied. They sat. And then, for the first time in a long time, they talked. Really talked? "I know I lost you," Jim said, "and it's killing me." Chrissy nodded slowly. "But you didn't just lose me, Jim. You let me go." He looked away. "I didn't know how to keep you. You didn't even try. He took a deep breath. "I was scared of not being enough. Scared that if I gave you everything, you'd still leave. So instead, I gave you just enough to keep you close, but not enough to keep you." Chrissy's eyes filled with tears. "Do you know how many nights I cried myself to sleep next to you? How many birthdays I waited for you to just show up emotionally? Not with a gift, but with presence." "I know," he said quietly, "and I hate myself for it." They sat in silence for a moment, the hum of the city below filling the space. Between them, "So what now?" she finally asked. "I want to fix this." Chrissy shook her head gently. "It's not broken anymore, Jim. It's done." His face fell. "I had to lose you to find myself," she continued. "And I can't go back to the woman who waited, who begged, who compromised her worth for a man who wasn't ready." "But I am now," he said. "Then be ready for someone else, not me." The words shattered him. He didn't cry, but his whole body slumped, as if the weight of her truth was too heavy to carry. Chrissy stood, wiping her eyes. "I'll always love you, but loving you almost destroyed me, and I love myself too much now to risk that again." He watched her walk away, too stunned to speak. That night, Chrissy posted a single photo on her Instagram. No caption, just a picture of the ocean at sunset. Fans flooded the comments. "He waited too long. She's finally free." This is what healing looks like. And while most people assumed that was the end of the story, what no one knew was that there was one last message waiting for Chrissy hidden in a journal Jim had kept for years. A message that could change everything she thought she knew. The journal came wrapped in brown paper. No note attached, just a delivery left at Chrissy's front desk 2 days after that rooftop meeting. Her first instinct was to throw it away. But something about the weight of it, the familiar handwriting on the back, her name written in all lowercase letters, made her pause. She waited until nightfall. The city outside her window buzzed with life. But inside, Chrissy sat cross-legged on her couch, the journal in her lap like a ticking bomb. She opened it slowly, page by page, her breath catching at the very first sentence. "I never knew how to love her right. But God, I loved her. More than anything in this world, it was Jim's handwriting. Unmistakable, messy, emotional, real. Page after page, he poured himself out, years of thoughts he never said, fears he never faced, and pain he never admitted. He wrote about the pressure of fame, the trauma of losing people too young, the way his father's absence left holes. In him, he never learned how to patch. Every time she looked at me, I felt like a man, but I never felt like I deserved to be one. She made me want to be better, but I didn't know how to get out of my own way. Chrissy read the journal in silence, her tears falling freely now. There were pages stained with smudged ink, maybe tears, maybe coffee, who knew? There were sketches of jewelry designs, scribbled poems, and one letter folded and taped to the back cover. If you're reading this, then it means you finally walked away. And I don't blame you. You were always stronger than me. I just hope, one day, when the noise dies down, you'll remember the good. Because even if I didn't show it the right way, you were everything. You still are. Chrissy closed the journal and held it to her chest, letting herself feel every ounce of the grief she had buried beneath her strength. Not because she wanted to go back, but because she needed to finally let go with compassion. Not just survival. The next day, she made one final call. Jim answered on the first ring. "I got the journal," she said. He didn't speak, but she could hear his breath catch on the other end. "Thank you for giving me the truth," she continued. "It doesn't change what happened, but it matters." He finally spoke. "I never wanted you to find it this way, but I did. And now I understand you in a way I didn't before." "But Jim, understanding you doesn't mean I can be with you." "I know," he whispered. "I just wanted you to know. I forgive you." He let out a slow breath, almost like he'd been waiting a lifetime to hear those words. "You deserve to be happy," she said. "Oh, shh. Just don't wait for it this time. Go get it." The call ended, and with it, a decade-long love story finally reached its quiet, bittersweet end. In the weeks that followed, Chrissy disappeared from the spotlight once again, not in sadness, but in peace. Fans noticed a different glow in her photos, a softer smile, a woman who had weathered the storm and found sunlight on the other side. Meanwhile, Jim stayed mostly off social media. No cryptic posts, no petty shade, just silence. And maybe, just maybe, growth, but the world wouldn't let go of the story that easily. Headlines continued to swirl. Hip-hop's longest love story ends in heartbreak. One read. Another wrote, "Chrissy walks away for good. Jim finally admits he was the problem." Fans picked sides, created threads. Posted throwback clips from their reality TV highs and lows. And then, out of nowhere, a rumor spread like wildfire. A reunion special. An unannounced sit-down. Chrissy and Jim face to face. Cameras rolling. No one confirmed it, no one denied it. But producers were seen meeting with former cast members. Makeup artists from the original show posted cryptic countdowns. Fans held their breath. Was this the beginning of something new, or just the final goodbye? What we do know is this. Chrissy Lampkin may have walked away from love, but she walked toward herself. And in doing so, she reminded every woman watching that sometimes the bravest thing you can do is let go. The truth came with tears. But in the end, it was hers. All of it. And there you have it. It's tears, truth, and the type of closure most people never get. Chrissy didn't just walk away from a man, she walked away from years of waiting, wondering, and watering a love that never grew the way it should have. And whether or not that rumored reunion ever happens, one thing is clear. This time, Chrissy isn't coming back for love. She's coming back for herself. Fans are still reeling from everything that's unfolded. Some say Jim will always regret letting her go. Others believe he needed to lose her to finally grow up. But what do you think? Was Chrissy right to end it for good? Did Jim's journal show true remorse, or was it just another too-late apology? Could time really heal something this broken? Or are some love stories better left in the past? We want to hear from you. Sound off in the comments. Below, should Chrissy give him one more chance? Or should she close the book and keep walking? And if this emotional roller coaster had you hooked, don't forget to hit that like button. Subscribe for more shocking celeb drama and exclusive breakdowns. And turn on notifications so you never miss a moment from the stories everyone's talking about. This was more than just gossip. This was healing heartbreak. and hard truths all rolled into one unforgettable journey. Until next time, stay tuned, stay bold, and remember, sometimes the real glow isn't revenge, it's peace. It's peace.